My mom was responsible for bringing me up. She remarried, and I saw her being remarried as many times as possible, and I did not like it. When I got fed up, with those punishments, I decided to run away from the school.
Abubakar Atiku, do solemnly swear.
I told him to his face, I said, I will never be part of this, and I will fight it.
According to a recent report from the UNESCO Institute for Statistics, tertiary students from sub-Saharan Africa are the most mobile in the world, with 1 out of every 16 studying abroad.
Check backside of your bench. There is a nice...
Most have no choice but to leave their country because of limited access to domestic universities or the poor quality of instruction.
HPLC is for what? Separate organic compounds, right?
I should have the right and the freedom to do...
The reason why I came here was because I wanted to get enlightened with, the environment and probably the system and how they are here. So,
how you could easily lay your hands on books from library and having electricity, internet and all that. So I would say to me it's awesome.
This is a world-class university, but it's not found in any of the world's capital.
Oh!
It's located on the northern edge of Africa's largest populated country, Nigeria. One would expect this university to be found in the country's economic hub, Lagos, or its capital, Abuja. But the American University of Nigeria, the AUN, is found in a small, dry and dusty town, Yola, in rural northeastern Nigeria. About 2,000 students have traveled from Africa and beyond to the AUN in search of a world-class American education system, the only American university found in sub-Saharan Africa.
When I was moving to AUN, people thought I had something wrong with me because it was a 4-year course, and in my 3rd year, I was going out to go and start all over again. I was in one of Nigeria's premier universities, trust me, and it is nothing to be compared with AUN. There, students just get trained to pass examinations. Students are treated as objects into which knowledge is dropped. You're taught not to question authority. Whatever they tell you is what you take.
AUN was founded just 7 years ago, so we're a brand new university. So in the beginning, most of the students came from Nigeria, roughly half from the north, half from the south, which is very important in this big, diverse country, that we have representations from all part of the country. In the last few years, we've seen really something wonderful happening. Young people from other parts of the continent coming. So we have students from Uganda, Kenya, Cameroon, our neighbor.
For me, AUN is a dream come true. In my country, there are no American universities. I made the choice to come to AUN because I wanted a kind of combination between the high level of technology which is available and the cultural values which are offered on African soil.
one man had a dream of having a world-class education system that young people will benefit from and which will have a vital role to play in the future of Nigeria and of Africa. Meet Atiku Abubakar, the brainchild behind this compass. At the dawn of Nigerian independence, he had experienced two sorts of education: British school teachers who told him to repeat after them and slapped his hands when he didn't, and the American Peace Corps teachers who encouraged him to think for himself.
Atiku Abubakar had 4 Peace Corps teachers, and they changed his life. They taught him to teach for himself. They expanded his world in remarkable ways, and he was motivated by that experience to give back to his community, aligning with the Peace Corps values and mission.
Fast forward 5 decades, and that young boy became a very successful businessman, serving along the way as Vice President of Nigeria from 1999 to 2007. But it's not been a smooth ride for Atiku. He owes it all to his childhood, a journey of hardships and a humble upbringing. Born in 1946 to Garba and Kande, Atiku grew up in Jada, a village close to Yola.
Even as I was growing up, there was no asphalt road linking provincial capital of Yola. During the rainy seasons, the roads are closed. They are only open during the dry season. And most of transportation was either by donkeys or horses or on foot.
Garba was particularly fond of his son. He considered Atiku a rare gift and a child of destiny. Like other fathers, Atiku's dad dreamt of good things and a great future for his only child. He wanted Atiku to grow up to be just like him, an Islamic scholar, trader, and farmer. Deeply religious, Garba was against Western education. He was not alone in this.
We are from the northern part, which is Muslim dominated. We already had a system of education, which is the Islamic education. So there was great apprehension by parents that, look, if we took our children to Western education, there was the probability that they were going to be converted to become Christians. It was the first impression.
A catastrophe fell on the family in 1957. Their only breadwinner didn't make it home. Atiku's father drowned while crossing a flooded river on a stormy evening while returning home. With the support of his mother and his father's friends, Atiku continued the uphill task of acquiring education, bearing all the challenges that his status threw at him. It's only after his father's demise that Atiku enrolled in a Western education system.
Atiku Abubakar. We grew up together. We are from the same town, the same ward in Jadawan local government. And we schooled together right from primary up to secondary level. The father refused him to go to primary school and took him away. But later on, successfully he joined. This was the first school in Jada. This was the only block here, the one you see built with stones. It was built by Adamawa Native Authority.
Most of my good or excellent subjects were art subjects: English, history, English literature. It was on that basis, actually, that I got admission into the secondary school. The principal who admitted me into the secondary school was a mathematician. He wanted me to be good in mathematics. And he made sure that I was on the front row because I was one of the smallest. I used to perform very, very, very poorly. And if you perform very poorly, you get punished in your compound, and then you get punished in the classroom. So when I got fed up, with those punishments, I decided to run away from the school. So I was followed. They went to my village and brought me back. And then the principal, one Mr. West, he asked me, why did you run away? I said, you are harassing me. You better stop getting me punished all the time. I fail in your maths. He said, but you have to learn maths. I said, well, I can learn maths, but not by being punished for not learning it. So I came back to school. But I think after one term, he was moved, he was transferred. And they brought another British man, Mr. Pollock, who was not a mathematician but a biologist. So the problem I had with maths, ended.
At the age of 15, the seeds of dedication, commitment, and hard work bore fruit. He built a house for his mother, his very first investment.
My mom was responsible for bringing me up. She remarried, and I saw her being remarried as many times as possible. And I did not like it, because in those days, and even now, Muslims marry and they divorce. The divorce rate was very, very high. And I didn't like her changing homes. Today, I am with her in one man's house. The next month, I am with her in another man's house. So I decided to pick up a job, at the divisional office then. And I swept the office. I was a clerk. I did all kinds of jobs in the office. And I was being paid maybe about £2-3 in a month, so which was a lot of money. So, and I saved that money, and I bought her the house. And I told her, I said, look, don't go to any man's house anymore. Anybody who wants to marry you, let him come and marry you here in your own house. And that was how I got her settled down in one place. And that's where she remained until she died.
Atiku Abubakar had, since childhood, realized the importance of education and its impact on his life. His encounter with the Peace Corps while in secondary school is an inspiration for going the American way. He wanted a democratic education like he received for other Nigerians and other Africans. It had to be Yola or nowhere. In 1992, he opened a nursery and a primary school. Soon after came a secondary school.
AX plus BY equals C.
And in 2005, the American University, the AUN, was established.
I can attribute it to the experience I had when I was going to school here at the provincial secondary school from 1961 to 1965. Nigeria had just got independence. Most of the British or European teachers were leaving. They left a vacuum. And eventually that vacuum was filled up by American Peace Corps. Therefore, when I decided to dedicate my life to education, I felt I needed to go a different way, a unique way.
It's almost set in focus?
So I decided to go the American system of education, which is unique.
AUN offers undergraduate programs in arts and sciences, business and information technology.
Anybody who wants to be an FBI agent, for example, if he studied behavioral
Students here are given the freedom to think independently.
Like that one, like the defense ones that claim to be sick. Here we're taught to observe, we're taught to evaluate, and we're taught to question respectfully.
You had enough time.
It has been very, 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 very enlightening.
Statistics and research have proved that countries leading in education are also ahead in areas of development, including technological advancement. This is now happening in Africa. It's happening at the AUN.
Library, website.
Most of the faculty and students, they either have an iPad and netbooks. In addition, a large number of students have a smartphone. As long as you have internet access, you can access your resources.
This university is the only one in the world who says education just isn't about being in a classroom. Of course that's important. Education is about teaching you and all of us to solve problems.
This Center of Learning is a non-profit making organization. The proceeds serve as an instrument of development and change in Nigeria. Every Friday, students engage in various community projects that help in lifting the region. This exercise is an important credit in their curriculum.
We're painting the Yola Youth Local Maternity Hospital. As you can see, it's really amazing, and we're really happy to be doing this because it sends a message and we're giving back to the community. It's important because you get to change lives and you get to help people and make Yola look beautiful.
Ni na same su suna aiki shi ne tambayar su da suka ce taimakon juna ni ma shi yasa na sa kai na don taimake su. Faranta mai abun daɗi ne su abun ci gaba ne su abun ci gaba kuma ya kamata kai maka sa kanka.
Some universities have become detached from the world they live in and haven't focused on generating and teaching the applied knowledge, the practical knowledge to solve problems, taking the knowledge and the solutions from a university out in the community, out in the world, and making sure our young people know they have those skills. They can solve problems, they can be leaders, and everything they face is solvable.
Atiku Abubakar has poured much of his fortune into the building and maintenance of the AUN, seeking to bring his American Peace Corps experience to other young Africans. The Peace Corps recently honored him at their 50th anniversary last year, saying, "No businessman in Africa has worked harder for democracy or contributed more to the progress of higher education than Atiku Abubakar." Before Atiku started AUN, he was looking to promote his commitment to education to as wide an audience as possible. He thought that with a democracy such as Nigeria's, government programs were reaching all corners of the country. If he entered politics, he could bring his ideas and his passion for learning to all Nigerians. As with most endeavors he chose, Atiku found success early on, rising to the post of vice president.
For the free education I received, free everything, I would not have been what I am today. And how would I pay back? And you are in government, and you pursue policies and implement policies that will have greater impact on the greater number of people, you know, in the country. So this is what motivated me, you know, to go into politics.
However, politics wasn't an easy game. Standing by what was laid out in the Constitution, brought serious problems. Atiku faced this with a brave face.
First and foremost, my political philosophy, I am opposed to autocratic rulers, wherever they may be, whether in Africa or anywhere in the world. If you are an autocratic leader, I will never like you. There is no doubt about that.
Anyone who cannot be trusted to stand by his word should not be entrusted with the leadership of this country.
I realize the president was bent on changing, the provisions of our constitution. I was an elected member of the Constituent Assembly that crafted the constitution. And we had term limits. And President Obasanjo wanted term limits removed. And I told him to his face, I said, I will never be part of this, and I will fight it through the National Assembly until I make sure that you don't get it. He said, Mr. Vice President, why would you want to stop me? I left office in 1979, I left Gaddafi, I left Bongo, I left Eyadema, I left Mubarak, I left Mugabe. 20 years after I came back, they are still in power. Why will you want me to go? I said, all these countries are not Nigeria. This is Nigeria. It's a completely different country. As far as I'm concerned, I will never support you. That was the crisis. He fired me. I said, no, you have no constitutional right to fire me. We went to the Supreme Court. I won. He removed, my official functions. I said, you have no right to do that. My official functions were given to me by the Constitution. I went to the Supreme Court. I won. I have worked hard for my wealth. I have been investigated over and over again, probed over and upside and down. And if I had acquired any part of my wealth illegally or unlawfully, it would have been exposed. And what is most important is that I was probed by government that was not even friendly to me. So if anybody has anything, any evidence that I have acquired any part of my wealth illegally or corruptly, he's free to come out and show evidence.
As with his public life, Atiku's private life has been dominated by his emphasis on education and democracy. Atiku has several wives and many children. He has often been heard saying, "My wives are my brothers, my sisters, my friends, and my advisors, and they complement one another."
I know my first wife never liked me joining politics. My wife would say, "Look, why do you waste your time, your money, and then the money of my children in politics and so on and so forth?" So she was very much against it. I said, well, I will continue to be in politics because I felt, I should serve my people. And eventually she came to agree with me anyways.
Dad is a mentor, at the same time as a father. Very cordial relationship. We get to see him and discuss with him whenever we want. And on all fronts, we interact. And also on a personal level, we do interact. We're 27, biological, and 2 adopted. On the first thought of it, you will think this is a lot, but I actually wish I had more. He has steered the ship, steadily, and he has taken steps to make sure that all of us are, in the right direction, giving us the best education, and make sure we toe the line. One thing that Awolowo always said was, how far a country goes depends a lot on the principles of its education. And today, my father, Atiku Abubakar, one of his main primary objectives is to is developing a foremost prestigious educational system in Africa, and the AUN is a testament to that.
The advice I always give them is hard work. Don't ever depend on my success. I told them, look at me. Look at my history, look at my background. Nothing brought me to this level other than hard work. Hard work, dedication, and honesty. If you pursue that, you can be even more successful than I am.
Atiku's hard work is what it took to build a world-class university from the ground up.
The history of the university, from the way it started, they are two poles apart, starting from nowhere to somewhere. People didn't even want to connect with it because the founder of the university was a politician and is still a politician, and that if you share different political ideologies or leanings with him, you don't want to come close to the project, not realizing that the university is for everybody. We targeted 200 students in the inaugural class, which opened in September 2005. We eventually got 124 students, which was a very good number, and 20 professors. That was the team that opened the very first class. And since the fall of 2005, we never looked back again. AUN had been progressing.
Oh yes, Yola is appreciated. The vision of the founder for the university to be not only a part of the community but also a catalyst for its development is being realized.
You know, people now want to identify with Atiku, with his businesses, with what he has done, that no one in the contemporary history of the Adamawa region has affected the lives of the community as much as he has done.
Atiku Abubakar's success in life is proof that there is the Nigerian dream, and that with vision, integrity, and hard work, a man can affect his environment positively and make good things happen.
The AUN has taken Yola to the center stage of global discourse. From the fall of 2005 to date, we have hosted not less than 100 expatriate families, not individuals, but families. And you know what that means in terms of changing the chemistry and arithmetic of the economy in the community. You would notice that people are opening up new businesses, and each business owner will tell you that, oh, I am opening this business because of the APTI people, that is the AUN people. You know, so the landscape of Yola will continue to change as a result of the AUN experience.
Ya kara mana jihar namu daraja. Kaga lokacin yaran mu suna zuwa makaranta, sannan kuma dole da muke samu a da dalilin wannan university nan shine dala kuma ya karu ba kaman da ba.
And if things work out, Atiku may just get the chance to spread the Yola education experience around the country, from the top seat in the land.
Akai maka sani ai mana Atiku Allah ya mishi jagora, Allah ya bashi nisan kwana, kuma Allah ya sa ya ci gaba da haka, Allah ya taya shi, kuma Allah ya bashi nasara da abin da yake nema duniya da lahira.
I don't want power and influence to change me. That's why I still continue to remain ordinary, and I continue to relate honorably with people all over.
If we can get, that the Adamawa region can get 2 or 3 Atikus, then we would be a small London, you know, in the near future.